everybody. Welcome. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records. And today on Dat Fury Radio, I'm going to take you through how I'm discovering music these days in the wake of the Pitchfork paywall. Trying to be a little topical here. And this doesn't count, of course, personal recommendations from friends and forums and people who are not journalists, you know. And that's, we'll call it 50%. I don't know if it's around 50% maybe of the things I check out come from those types of personal recommendations. But here's what I'm doing in the wake of the Pitchfork paywall. I won't be paying to access Pitchfork, especially given the turn it's taken since the purchase a couple years ago. I think it's silly to have user reviews. But anyway, so that's the reality. I still visit Pitchfork every day, and I will continue to do that for the time being, I think. But I used to read the blurbs on every review and pick out one or two a day on average to sample a song or two from and see if it was something I wanted to check out further. The paywall makes it really hard to do that since you only get 4 reviews a month, and that could change at any time. And based on the content at Pitchfork, I had already started to diversify a little bit in terms of what music journalism I was reading. So if you're watching on YouTube, I am gonna share my screen. And man, I feel like I'm doing like a morning routine video. I guess it is in a way. So I do miss the Sunday reviews and being able to read those. I'm gonna miss that, but I do come to Pitchfork. I read the little blurbs on the reviews. Anymore, I used up my 4 before I realized there was a paywall, so I haven't read a review in a while, a few weeks. But I'll be spacing out my reviews, I guess, that I click on and picking and choosing. But this gives me some idea, maybe something to check out if it's a best new album. Might give it, a song or two to see if it grabs me. I will read the columns and features and look at the news. But given that I've limited access to the reviews anymore, I'm using 2 other sources that I'm enjoying for some journalism and some discovery. And this is partially influenced by my friend Franklin, who made this suggestion. So I was talking to Franklin a few weeks ago kind of about this, and we're both aware, you may be aware of Rob Mitchum's Album of the Year list project. I'll link to that in the show notes. But Rob takes the year-end lists from a ton of publications, like 40 publications, and compiles them into a spreadsheet and does kind of a meta album of the year project, which is pretty cool. And Franklin's idea was for me to go through all the different sources that Rob pulls into his spreadsheet, which I did, and see if they met what I'm looking for in terms of music journalism and music discovery. Now, here's what I like, and what I've always liked about Pitchfork is the blurb. I need something to indicate to me, am I going to click through? Because I'm not going to read everything. I need something to indicate, am I going to click through and read this review and listen to a song or 2 or more from this project or not? I can't just do, or I don't want to just do, artist, album cover. That doesn't entice me to click. So I looked at all of these different publications. Most of them don't do blurbs, which drives me crazy, but I have found 2 that I like, and they are the Quietus, which was also recommended to me earlier, maybe by Rob, but whoever recommended that, thank you. I will link to the specific URL at the Quietus that I go to. But I have been enjoying the Quietus. They do a blurb, and I'm enjoying their selection. They covered the Eric Hall recent release, Solo 3, so I was super happy to hear that, or to see that. Had a nice review of the Megadeth album. I'm not going to be picking that up, but it was interesting. I was happy to see it covered. And so yeah, I'm enjoying the Quietus, and should probably spend some time exploring the Quietus a little further. And then the other thing I'm liking, and this is hyper specific to me, but I'm going to offer it to you in case it works for you. It's that album of the year, and I have a very specific view that I like. It's the weekly view, filtered to have a critic score and ordered by the critic score. So that's great. That gives me a view of the albums released that week, sorted by critic score. I'm not going through them all, but I scan them, and especially, something that's newer and highly rated, I might check out. So the critic score in that case is standing in for the blurb. And that is working okay. It is quirky, and every time I visit, I scan through multiple weeks because stuff gets added according to the week it was released, but when they get to having that minimum threshold of 5 critic scores. So that means it might be week 6 of the year this week as I record, but albums can be added back into the week 4, week 5, even maybe the week 3 views based on the release date. So you have to scan around. The link I'm going to post in the show notes is the link I'm using currently, but every month or so I'm going to update that and move the week of the year forward. So this is real nerdy. But I have real specific needs, I guess, when it comes to music journalism, and this is meeting them in the wake of Pitchfork. So I've clicked back to week 3 here. I've checked out at least the top 5 of these. I don't remember if I listened to the Jana Horn or not. And then week 4, I'm a little behind on this. I did check out the Craven Faults record. I mean to check out the Julian Lage. I don't know how to say it, but that's on my list to check out. Week 5, a bunch of these are on my list. The Urn by Storm, Mole, don't know. Eric Bibb, I remember that name. I think my mom got me some Eric Bibb CDs maybe she got herself some Eric Bibb CDs way back. I checked out the new Blackwater Holy Light. But you get the idea. Mandy, Indiana in week 6, I know that's on my list. And then week 7 hasn't happened yet. It must be week 6 this week. Week 6 of the year. But that's what I'm doing for Discovery in the wake of developments at Pitchfork. And it's working. There's things about it I'm enjoying. I do miss the Sunday reviews, but I guess if I allocate my 4 reviews a month, I can mostly catch up on those. So we'll see. It's nice to diversify my music journalism sources. But that's what I'm doing. I hope you're having an okay week. And I'll catch you next week on Dat Fury Radio.